Looks like we're going good old iPhone style, you guys. Welcome to episode 66 of Six Figure Live. My name is Ben Hartley with Style and Story Creative and Six Figure Photography. Sorry about that. I was getting all kinds of audio issues going on. I've got a couple other systems that I've been testing, and I still just have the hardest time with some of these other softwares that you can use to broadcast. And so my apologies. We're going old school. We're just going to keep it plain and simple, straight up iPhone usage here. You guys, welcome to Six Figure Live, episode 66. We're just going to skip the intro. Victoria, what's up, girl? Let me clip right to my, I'm going to clip this here. Yeah. Leslie, Victoria are in the house. What's up, you guys? All right. So, you guys, thank you so much for joining. Once again, this is episode 66 of Six Figure Live. My name is Ben Hartley, and I had just gone live to you guys. We had some tech problems, and so I appreciate you guys who've gone back in and hung with me here. Here's the deal. Six Figure Photography. The entire point of Six Figure Live is to kind of bring you guys behind the scenes, get inside my head a little bit, and for me to just to connect with you guys. I really want to I want to know what's going on in your studio. I want you guys to be able to have some sort of form of connection with me in a more direct way, and this is it. Look, I have all kinds of emails that I get every day. There's an email exchange that we have. If you haven't joined the 7-day crash course, I would really, really highly encourage you to do that. It's a 7-day free crash course where I kind of take you through and I just kind of break down a ton of aspects of your business and help build it back up to help you guys out in any way. And so along the way, one of the things that I always ask people that I'm emailing is, what is your biggest struggle? I want to know, and I listen to every single one. I read every email that I get, and I reply to every single email that I get. And sometimes it's just empathy. Sometimes it is sympathizing with you, that it's hard, that it's rough, that it takes work. And other times I'm trying to weigh in and let you guys know some of the experiences that I've had that can maybe help you guys out. And I want to take that a step further with Six Figure Live. I want to take this a step further and actually kind of weigh in live with you guys to kind of discuss some of these struggles that we're having and put some answers out there and kind of, again, put this out not just for that one person that I'm emailing, but put this on blast for all of you guys, for all of you photographers, creatives who are listening, because I know that we all share the same struggles. You guys, look, if you're going through something, like we all are going through it, have gone through it, or will go through it. And that's just it. You know, like the reality is, like the struggle is very real, and it will continue to be real. Like even in your most successful times, right? Like even the photographers who have made it, you guys look at me and you're like, Ben, sounds very creative, like they've made it, right? You look at the photographers at the top, they're in rangefinder, they're all over left and right, and they still face struggles every single day. The only reason that they're successful is because they're working their ass off every single day and overcoming these things. And a lot of times the struggles, it's not about pricing, it's not about the techniques and the tactics. It's a lot of times up here, man. It's a lot of times getting over our own minds, and a lot of self-talk that goes into that. And so anyhow, what I want to do is I want to talk about some of these things. I figured the best way for me to do this, you guys, is to talk about some of my own struggles. Now, real quick, I just got back from Canada Photo Convention, CPC. I was out all last week. I got in on Thursday, and so I want to apologize to you guys. Friday, I should have technically done a Q&A Friday, but sorry, I'm not sorry. I was gone all week for my family, and so I just spent that Friday with them, and that's just the way it works, right? So Friday, I wasn't with you guys. I was hanging out with my family, and then I got the flu. It was terrible, and so I was out over the weekend and out Monday. And so here I am joining you guys today. So thank you for your grace. I really appreciate it. And here's the deal. I met so many amazing people, so many amazing attendees and speakers at CPC. And so if you're one of them that I met, or that I got to shake your hand and meet you in person, or go and do karaoke and scream my ass off with you guys, or maybe you saw me on stage talk about passion and you saw me like freak out in a really positive way, give me some likes, give me some love, give me some little hearts and thumbs up, or just leave me a comment. I would love to know if you saw me, if you met me there. Let me know, you guys. It really means the world that you would actually come and follow follow up and that I would have a chance to connect with you further in this way. Really, man, Six Figure Live, I want this to be an open dialogue, a way for us to continue to communicate and help each other out. So here we go. Let's talk about the biggest struggles that we have faced. This is for me, right? When I first started, I went full-time in 2013. That's when I officially took the leap, right? Prior to that, though, and even to this day, this continues to be the biggest struggle that I face. It's simply just the daily, and it's less now, but it's, Christy, what's up, girl? Yes, I'm so glad that you caught me live. The biggest struggle that I have faced is overcoming my fear of who I would let down, right? Because for many of us at least, going into this business, going full-time, stepping into this world, it's not just yourself that you have to let down. If you're the only one that you can let down, then there's zero, I promise you, I have zero sympathy, zero excuse for you. You should just be out there doing every possible thing and working your ass off and just going for it every single step of the day, going for it. But for many of us, that's not the reality, right? For many of us, it was my family, it's my daughter, it's my wife, right, that I'm having to take responsibility for. And so for me to quit my day job and put everything into photography, it's overcoming the fear of who I would let down. It's my wife's parents, right? Who I just married her, and now I'm taking on this responsibility to provide for their daughter, and I'm going full time with photography, right? It's those things. These are the fears that I had to overcome, and I still have to overcome, right? It's this stuff. It's very real, you guys. It's very real, and I get that. I think that for many of us, we're terrified. We're terrified to take the leap. We're terrified of not getting enough clients booked, and so we start dropping our prices rapidly. We start doing all these things out of fear, and a lot of times, you guys, the fear is not like, man, I'm scared that I'll fail. I'm scared that I won't win. It's that, but it's always attached to somebody else's view of you, right? It's always attached to somebody else's view. And now with my team, man, I got Stephen Lobeck here. I got Ben Adams on the other side. There's also a very real fear of I want to make sure that I don't let them down, right? I'm now employing other people. So these are the struggles that I have faced, and it's just escalated. It's scaled, right? It started with just my wife. Now it's my wife and our baby. Now it's my wife, our baby, less of her family now. I'm kind of over that one, but wife, baby, and now the team, and now wife, baby, team, and you guys. These are very real things. These are the fears. These are the struggles that I've had to get over. Kaylee, what's up, girl? Frederick, hey, man, how's it going, man? Emily, same here, so stoked. What's up, girl? Glad you guys have joined live. Anybody meet me at CPC? I really hope I get someone in here who was like, I was at CPC, I met you, dude. Dude, I had some mad karaoke at CPC. I think I may have murdered it. I definitely bombed on a Drake song, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. Victoria, you ask, did you have an amount saved up before quitting your full-time job? Like maybe a year's worth of wages, etc., just in case? Victoria, it's a really great question. This is a question that a lot of times people ask, when can I go full-time? You know, like all this stuff, when is it right? It's a very personal question because especially when you have a family involved. So I had a wife involved, and I made sure that debt was removed. I had paid off all of our debt. Like, look, I worked so freaking hard. So we paid off our debt, and then I had no, I didn't have that. I remember what I wanted to have. I think I just had our debt paid off, but I had clients in the pipe, right? I had clients lined up so that way next year I knew that there was income there because there was contracts signed, okay? So for me, it was debt paid off and contracts signed to know that we would at least be able to make it, right? Like we'd at least be able to pay those bills. So that's what I did, was debt paid off and I had contracts signed. I think I had about 30 in the pipe, so that way next year I can make that decision out of good conscience, right? I don't think that the right move is to just go quit your day job and just dive right in. That is, unless you don't have any other responsibilities. If it's just you, then go quit your day job and dive right in. Like, go balls to the wall. That's what I'd be doing, like left and right. I'd be all in. Scott, what's up, my man? Victoria, great question. So here's the deal. Again, every day I ask photographers what is their biggest struggle, and I think this is really important. I think it's really important that we talk about these things, and I want to give answers rather than just emailing to that one person and sharing my empathy and sharing my sympathy and sharing my past experiences and what I've gone through and what I've learned. I wanted to put these answers out there. This is going to feel a lot like Q&A Friday because a lot of times these struggles are also questions, and so hopefully this will help you guys. That's the goal here. So let's talk about this. Thanks, Victoria. You know what, Victoria, too, 30 weddings, you're right. But they weren't like 30 like amazing high-dollar weddings. They weren't like these incredible things, but it was 30 contracts. It was enough to get through the year. So here we go. Let's start talking about some struggles. I'm going to do these semi-anonymously, but I'm going to talk about first names until it becomes a problem and someone says, don't share my first name. But look, there's a billion like Daves in the world. So Abish, he wrote me and he said his biggest struggle is he's working a day job. And he's currently trying to build up his like side hustle, right? Like his side business. How does it keep the energy up to actually go from the day job and then get off work and keep moving forward and keep building the photography business and keep the needle moving? And I guess one of the things that he added in there was like his goal was to go full time in 2017, and I think that's it. It's like actually first off recognizing the goal and writing it down, creating an objective in terms of motivation, creating an objective and writing it down. Even here at the office, we're a little overwhelmed with how much we get going on, all the editing, all the premiere dates, everything, and we just have to stop for a moment. And rather than just getting overwhelmed by everything that needed to get done, write down the actual goals that we were going to accomplish today and then this week, right? So these are the goals that we're going to accomplish. And for him, it was like, my goal is full-time by 2017. It's a very motivating goal. The second thing is, for many of us, like the side hustle is the dream. The side hustle is what makes us happy, right? Photography as our full-time job is like, it's the dream, right? It's what we want to be doing. It's what we're trying to accomplish. And so, my goodness, if you're struggling now to be motivated to make this dream a reality, then man, I would caution you, like I would really caution you to audit yourself, to really have a moment of self-evaluation. Because if, like for me, man, when I worked my full daytime job, I was chomping at the mother effing bit for 5 p.m. to roll around, because as soon as 5 o'clock hit, you better believe I was gonna be emailing brides and calling brides and editing pictures and blasting stuff on Facebook and signing up for everything left and right. You know what I mean? Like I was so excited and passionate, like my whole mind, my whole mental frame, like 9 to 5, the day job, I was like a walking zombie, right? Like it just is what it is. And so, I guess that's it. I would encourage you to really evaluate. If this is what's going to make you happy, then focus on everything that matters, which is that, and forget everything else. Like stop focusing on stupid shit. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. And also surround yourself with really great people. Like surround yourself with people that are going to keep blasting this message in your mind, to keep moving forward, keep doing what makes you happy. Forget everything else and like double down on this one thing. But I guess that would be my challenge. My challenge to him would be like, man, if you're struggling to find energy, if you're struggling to find motivation to keep working on your photography business after your day job, it just might not be what you're meant to do. Like it just might not, and that's okay. But self-evaluate and figure this out. Christy, you just wrote my day job. Oh, you're at your day job now, watching Facebook. Sorry, I just blocked that with my thumb. Trying to get more clients in the area because I've moved. I've read up so much on how to get my clients. Just have to execute. I want to just go and do it, but I feel like I get in my own way from me needing to have the perfect plan. Any advice? No, Christy, what you just brought up there, Christy, you just said, look, you're at your day job right now. You're focusing on trying to get new clients and you're excited about this. You're trying to do everything you know what to do. You just need to execute. And you say you keep feeling like you're getting in your way by needing the perfect plan. No, like this happens with Facebook Live videos, right? This happens with content creation. So often we're trying to figure out the perfect plan, the perfect thing to do when you just need to start moving. Like, girl, you just need to start doing. Like, Christy, there's a billion things to do. do all of them and start today. Like don't wait to have the perfect plan. Don't wait to pick up the phone until you have the perfect script. Just pick up the phone and start calling the clients that have reached out to you, and just care about them, man. Just care about them as people. You will not find the perfect phone script, right? Just like you need to start actually taking action. So often we just freeze up, man. We don't move. Like we're trying to find inspiration, we're trying to find passion. And actually this is really poignant. At CPC, Jen Moher was talking about how oftentimes the course, like the timeline, looks like we're waiting to find motivation, we're waiting to find passion, we're waiting to find something that inspires us to then go and do, right? So we look for inspiration, we look for passion, we look for motivation to go and do something. And instead, that oftentimes just gets you nowhere, where you just end up sitting there and waiting for something to occur that just won't happen. Instead, go and do, right? Go and start doing something. And when you start doing something, like motivation and passion will actually come from that. Inspiration comes from going and doing. They were talking about this in the context of a photo shoot, and how, man, some of their favorite images happened by just picking up their camera and walking out of the house and going and taking pictures around the neighborhood. And some of those photographs would have never happened if they hadn't just decided to pick up their camera and get out of the house. Like Christy, just go and start hustling, start moving forward. The inspiration will come from that. The motivation will come from that. Like, you should be inspired by the fact that, man, hell yeah, I got something done. I moved forward today. Like, I didn't just sit here and wait. It's too easy to sit here and wait, and life's too short. This is the biggest difference maker between businesses and photographers who are really moving forward and those who aren't. Is there's photographers who will do and who will go, and then there's other photographers who will complain. They'll complain that they don't have the right plan. Man, I don't have the right script. I don't know what to do. Should I use wedding wire? Should I use the knot? How much should I charge? What should my pricing be? Should I email brides, or should I call brides, or should I text brides? I just don't know. Like, what do you guys think? And we complain and we pontificate about all these problems that we face. And the photographers that just get out there and they take the bull by the horns and they say, like, you know what? I'm just going to go I'm going to test, I'm going to research, I'm going to try it all, and we'll see what happens. Success will find those guys. So sorry, I get really fired up about that. I'm a huge fan of actually just taking action. Like, take action, man. There's not enough time. Okay, Victoria, sorry, I'm like, okay, come with that. Victoria says, haha, me too, Chrissy, I'm on the phone at work. That's awesome. Laura says, I definitely spend too much time planning and perfecting what's supposed to do without actually doing it. And obviously, Laura, obviously, you guys, there's a certain time where, like, yes, it makes sense that we're gonna need to, like, stop and really start to think about this stuff. But I think when it comes down to it, that we really just, we sit and we wait far too often. Okay, another biggest struggle. This comes from Isaac. Isaac emailed me and he said, my biggest struggle that I deal with is burnout. How do I overcome burnout? I think for me, the number one thing that I do to overcome burnout, it's not like, this is the answers you're going to get. The answers that you're used to hearing are like, in order to overcome burnout, you need to outsource your editing. You need to, like, come up with, like, email templates that you put out. You need to use a client resource management system like Tave, which I love, right? I love Tave. I love Shoot.edit. I love outsourcing. I totally get that. But for me, that's not the solution for burnout. You guys, we are relational people. We are people, and this is this is the way that my heart beats. This is the way that my brain ticks. The way that I solve burnout is be surrounded by really freaking kick-ass people, right? Who, like, I can just sit with in my state of, like, wow, this is a lot. But you guys, like, you're in it with me, like Steven and Leslie and Ben Adams. Like I surround myself with amazing people. And so I don't just work at my home. I don't, like I did for the longest time, you guys. I started my business and I worked right in my living room. And then we worked in our garage. Dude, Ben Adams, get over here, man. Ben Adams and I, this kid worked in my garage with me. And it was funny because you look like a homeless man.
I know, I'm sorry.
We worked in our garage together for an entire winter. Of course, we chose the winter to work in the garage.
Like underneath the garage door, ice would start
literally
coming
ice was seeping through. It was insane. But it's guys like Ben, right? And Steven and Leslie that, like, they make it worth it. they like bring a skip to my step. When everything is collapsing around me, we can look at each other and laugh, and we can play a game of ping pong and move forward. And so I think it's not working in a vacuum, okay? And so my encouragement is, if you don't have amazing people like these guys or a spouse to work alongside with, try to find a co-op space, right? Try to find a co-op space and see if that's an option. See if you could partner with another photographer and just like go and lease out like a little side room and just have a little nook. Even if you just have, look, a little nook with like one other person that you actually enjoy being with will solve so many problems with burnout, right? It'll solve so many problems with burnout. That's what I would say, is surround yourself with really great people that you can go to battle with daily, right? That's it for me. And then also shoot that at Antare, you know. Okay, cool. Christy says, yes, I've been networking and trying to get in contact with local photographers. So much fun looking at them as a community, not competition. That's right, community, not competition. I totally agree. Scott, how do you make sure you get every shot? I want to tell my clients that they can have peace of mind with us, that we'll get everything, but I seem to always miss one or two shots when we get in a rush or behind schedule. Any tips on how to get all the shots you're wanting to get? I tell my clients we get what we get, but I want, okay, cool. Scott, the thing that I tell my clients is like, look, I tell them this, like, I'm human, right? I tell them this. I tell them, like, you won't have to worry about your photography on your wedding day. Like, the shots are covered. I tell them this, like, look, I can't guarantee any number of images that we're going to get, but I can guarantee this. I can guarantee that I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to work harder than any other photographer. Like, I'm going to be sweating bullets by the end of the night. That I will never put my camera down just to go in, like, on a coffee break or a lunch break. That, like, my time, my focus, my energy, everything is 100% focused on you. That's what I commit to my clients. I don't commit that, like, I won't miss something. I don't. But the way that I commit it conveys the fact that, like, they can count on me to, like, really, really freaking give a damn, right? And I have second shot for so many photographers that don't. They don't give a damn, and they're not working their ass off, and it kind of drives me crazy. And so that's what I commit, you know. In terms of how you can better, like, become a better photographer in that, I think it's anticipation. It's learning the art of anticipation, and having your camera ready. Like, when you're telling jokes and you're laughing about it, like, be laughing behind the lens, right? It's knowing what lenses to have on your camera at the right time, so you're not missing shots by switching. I mean, we could get into all kinds of technical stuff, but I think really it's like a hustle question too. It's like, do you really want it? You know, like, you should see us on. Dude, Ben, we should hire someone to come follow us on a wedding day, and just to see how intense things are in terms of like our athleticism, like pure athleticism on a wedding day. I'm not saying this to, like, brag or to boast. I'm saying this to answer your question in terms of, like, when we show up on a day, like, I'm in, like, full head-to-toe suit, three-piece suit, and yet, like, busting my butt. Dude, Stephen Lowe over here, this guy ripped his pants from front to back this weekend, like, full frontal. It was incredible, and I loved it because it really showed just how hard he was working. So I think that's it. Let's get back. I'm gonna keep going and talking about a few more of these struggles, because again, people have emailed me these, and I want to address them with you guys. Lisa says this. Lisa wrote to me, and she says, my biggest struggle is that I like shooting everything. I like shooting babies, families, maternity, weddings, and so I don't want to specialize. She doesn't want to niche down, but she wants to make more money. And so how else can she make more money? And look, I think that there's a great truth to focusing in on your craft and saying, like, look, I'm the best at weddings. This is what I do. I will only shoot weddings. And because of it, there's a premium that comes with that. She's saying she doesn't want to do that. Lisa wants to shoot everything, and I get that. I understand the desire to shoot everything. So how else can she make money? I think one of the number one things that Lisa can start doing to make money is to start prioritizing the value, the importance of print. and to start understanding that she doesn't just sell clicks of a shutter and photographs at an hourly rate, that she's not just a vendor, but that her photographs have real meaning, especially when they're made real and physical. If she can wrap her brain around that and convey that value to clients, and then take the time to actually meet with them to convey that value and do to make sure that every client walks away with prints, walks away with an actual album, man, that's going to do so much for her business in terms of making more money. And so the short answer is valuing and understanding and conveying that importance of prints to clients. So post-sales sessions, I think that would be the number one way. If you're not going to, and this goes either way, whether you're going to niche down or you're going to shoot everything, that's fine. And if you want to make more money, it's understanding the importance of physical printed products and the power that you have as a photographer to be able to give that to your clients. Well, I guess to sell that to your clients. Okay, cool. Victoria would pay to see. Wait, Victoria, you'd pay to see the full frontal rip, Stephen, or which would you pay to see, Victoria? Okay, let's keep going. More struggles. Yeah, bring your pants in, man. Let's get those framed. Sabine wrote to me and said this: I don't know how to sell myself. My biggest struggle is I feel like I'm just missing something with that. I feel like I'm missing something from what my clients are experiencing with me. So the biggest struggle, not knowing how to sell yourself. I guess I'm kind of curious what you mean by that, by not knowing how to sell yourself. I'm curious if you mean this from an attracting new leads standpoint, or from like a post-sales in-person sales session, like during the consultation, like getting people to actually sign with you and book. I think that a huge thing that, I'll just kind of take my interpretation of it, in terms of struggling with being able to sell yourself, I think a lot of people put the weight on themselves in terms of what they, booking a client or what they sell. And they put a lot of emphasis and weight on if I just know the right like things to say, the right script in order to actually sell to a client or convey the right thing. And I think so much of it has to do with, in terms of getting bookings, it's like, do you actually believe that what you have to offer them has the ability to change lives? Like, do you actually believe that you can do something way more important than just take photographs? Do you actually believe in the importance of print? Do you actually believe that physical prints have power? Meaning, do you actually walk the walk? Do you show and convey prints? Do you have prints of your family? Do you have albums of your family? I think it comes down to belief. I think people's BS meter is incredibly high these days. And when you don't actually believe the things that you're trying to sell people, it's really hard to convey it and get people to buy in. And it's really hard to actually deliver on that experience. And so for many photographers, they attend workshops and they download templates and they go and they sit in front of a client and they say all the right things and they present all the right things and they email all the right things and they price their packages in all the right ways, and they still don't make a sale and they still don't get a booking. And I think it comes down to you can't fake loving people. You can't fake believing in certain ideologies, and man, it's like passion, right? It's passion. People see passion. You can't fake passion. It's either there or it's not there, right? Sorry, we just cut out for a second. I think a lot of it is actually resonating this and aligning these things in your own heart and mind. That do you actually believe what it is that you're selling to its truest form? And I think when there's a disconnect there, then you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss the actual experience that you're providing clients. So that would be my thought, and that's from personal experience, man. We've missed the mark. There's been years. There's been a good year where we missed the mark on that, and it took a while for me to actually come to terms with the fact that, like, man, why are we struggling with this? Why are we struggling to get bookings? Why are we struggling to make sales? And I had to really self-evaluate and understand that I wasn't believing in what I was selling. It's a huge thing, you guys. Okay, cool. Let's keep moving. So let's see here. Sean says, I'm trying to reach a client with a larger budget. This is wedding photography. I'm trying to reach a client with a larger budget. One of my biggest struggles is showing a brand with a perceived value to reach a higher end client. And so I think this is one that like, I think there's very few things that can affect the outcome of how much you can charge. There's very few things that can affect this apart from three things. It's like your own self-worth, it's the value that you provide, and then it's your brand. And the brand part, it's probably the easiest one. And so Sean's biggest struggle is to show a brand with perceived value to attract a bigger client. That's actually the easiest one because your brand, it's very it's easy to put out there, right? Like you don't have to have self-worth, and you don't have to be able to provide value to put out a brand that looks like all the parts. And so I guess my first encouragement to you is to actually do the research to figure out what does a bigger budget bride look like in very literal terms. What does this bride look like? Like where does she work? What does her fiance do? How old are they? Where does he work? What are their family like? What makes them tick? What makes them happy? Where are they vacationing? Like, who are the people that are connected to them? Who are the other vendors that we're working with? What are the venues that they're at? What are the magazines that they read and the type of the images that they respond more or less to? All that type of stuff. Where do they shop at? I think it's really digging into understanding and doing the research for who is a bigger budget bride, because that looks very different. I think once you can identify who is your bigger budget bride, that's going to give you all the very direct black and white things of what your brand should look like, right? If the goal is to create a brand that attracts a bigger budget bride, that's a tongue twister. You really have to do the research and understand who your target market is with that. And so it's I think it's a lot of front end work, but once it's there, once the front end work is done, you literally have like the exact steps that you're able to do. My encouragement to you, Sean, is to not undervalue your copywriting. Your copywriting, especially with a bigger budget bride, nothing will separate you more, I think, for a higher end bride than copy. People with money talk different. Let's just this is what it is, right? People with money tend to talk differently. And so understand the ways that your higher end client communicates that's different, and make sure that your copywriting reflects that. Make sure that your phone call reflects that. Make sure that your communication reflects that. And so I think when we think about brand, we have to think about just your logo, right? And like your 10 portfolio images. Your brand is so much more. Thanks for all the hearts. Yeah, your brand is like how you, anytime someone thinks about your business, your photography company, that's your brand, right? It's perception is reality. And so every touch point, every phone call, every email, every conflict resolution, everything like that affects it. So copy is a huge thing though for a higher end client. Okay, cool. This is actually a really similar question. Nicole wrote, and she said one of her biggest struggles is figuring out her target market. It's a little bit of a different twist to this. I get this. I think this is a struggle that a lot of us face is trying to understand who we want to serve. And so my encouragement to you again comes back to my first answer. As you're trying to figure out your target market, as you're trying to figure out who you want to serve, my encouragement is to audit, is to really is to have a moment of self-reflection of like, who do you want to serve, right? Like what makes you happy? What kind of photography do you actually want to do? Really start to analyze what it is that you want first, right? And so recognize, is this what makes you happy? Do you want to do this? And once you've identified what really gets you excited, then again, it comes back down to doing the research, right? And I think part of that research is why would that person, right? If you're like, man, I just really love like that cool trendy hipster couple. I love that like indie vibe, like American flags like wrapped around my shoulders and like the wind is in my face and there's an underexposed waterfall behind me. 2 stops under minimum. Like if that's your vibe, so recognize that and then start asking yourself the question, why would that client want to buy from you? Like what do you have to offer them from a benefit standpoint, right? That's going to separate you from everybody else, and then really start focusing in and identifying who is this client, who is this bride, who is this groom, what do they look like, where do they shop, all the stuff, who are they connected to, what are the other dots that connect this person, all the other vendors, research. You guys don't be lazy. I say that with love, don't be lazy. It takes work. Like I want to help facilitate all this stuff, but you're still gonna have to step up to the plate and do the research and start to figure this stuff out. But I think step one is analyze and really evaluate, like, who do you actually want to serve when identifying your target market? Because you don't want to get into this thing 5 years down the road and be like, F my life, I am stuck photographing newborn babies, and I really struggle with photographing newborn babies, and this is the niche I'm in. Don't do that to yourself, you guys. So these were just five. These were 5 or 6 of some photographers' biggest struggles. I'm going to keep dishing these out to you guys because I think there's so much value to be gained. I think that we all struggle and we all can learn from this. And so please, if you haven't already, make sure that you get involved in an email exchange with me. Let's continue the dialogue. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I appreciate all the support, all the love. I'm going to be in United, Show It United here in November 6th. And so if you're going to be at Show It United 2016, throw some hearts and some thumbs up. I want to meet you. If you're at Show It, please come and say hi to me. Come up and shake my hand. Come up and let's get coffee. Let's get a beer. Let's do karaoke. Like, I want to meet you guys. I want to have a real conversation, a real relationship with you. And so come and say hi to me. My beautiful, freaking, gorgeous, effing wife is going to be there. She's so fine and she's so fun. She's going to be there with me. And so come say hi to her too. You guys, I love you. Episode 67 is tomorrow. We'll see you guys there. Bye, everybody.